They go outside for professional courses, or sometimes they offer, they join BCom with CA, and if they get stuck, they are not able to migrate to another program. We want to address this problem. That's where we introduce ArivuPro 1. In this program, you are not confined by one professional course. You have the choice to do any 10 professional courses, right? You can do any of these professional courses or all the 10 professional courses, you can do it. The choice is with you. You can do it from Chennai, you can do it from Coimbatore, you can do it from Bangalore, or you can do it online from all over India. This is the course. For more details, right, we will be releasing more videos on this course. You can call my team and they'll be more than happy to explain this course. Spread the word. Those who are looking for undergrad programs with professional courses, ArivuPro 1 is the choice. One program, 10 certifications, infinite opportunities. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Hello friends, I hope you are all doing good. I hope all your papers are going well. And I thought let me come live and discuss, give 5-10 minutes, take your 15-20 minutes hopefully, and discuss what are those points wherein you will have to concentrate more in your income tax and GST. The next paper which you have is taxation paper. I hope your accounts and law paper went very well, and you definitely will score very good marks in those paper, no doubt in that. There is one more paper in group 1. Once you complete this, you will have group 2 to study, and of course you had dreamt about this day. So I know you will be performing very well. You will be clearing your examination with flying colors. You will be making us proud as well as your parents proud, and definitely waiting for your results. Now what I thought is, let me just discuss about how to approach the subject. What are the important points which you have to keep in mind before writing your examination. So hardly 15-20 minutes I'll take, so that accordingly you can plan your preparations. Next paper for your upcoming paper, which is taxation paper. Now, so taxation which is there, the taxation is divided into two parts. One is direct taxes and another one is indirect taxes. So what I will be discussing this video, three things I will be discussing. One, what are the topics covered and what are the most important topics, etc. Then what is your question paper pattern? How should I answer the questions? Meaning, how should I approach the question paper when I am reading the questions? What are the important points? And how to present my question in the examination. So these are the few points which I am going to discuss. Okay. So yeah, let me first start with our income tax. Income tax. So your direct tax, the taxation paper which is there is for 100 marks. It has direct taxes as well as indirect taxes for 50 marks, 50 marks. Now, income tax which is there, which is the direct taxes, it will come for 50 marks, wherein there are different topics which are covered over here. You have a total income question which will shortly come, and 15 marks question will come from total income, which will have around 7 to 8 marks from your PGBP, and other 7 marks will be from your remaining portions like heads of income deductions and tax computation. Then you will have a chapter called as residential status and scope of total income. You should never miss this chapter. Short question comes every attempt. Up to 6 marks question comes in the examination every attempt. So definitely you should study this chapter. Then you should not miss this chapter called as income from salary. This income from salary is a topic which they are the test normally only at intermediate level and never at final level. So a short question for 7 to 8 marks or 6 to 7 marks will come from this topic. House property is a topic wherein the institute decides whether to ask or not to ask. So but still 2 to 4 marks for sure it will come from this house property. PGBP, apart from that which is covered under total income, they may ask a separate question for 4 marks from PGBP topic. Please note, this is what is the trend which is happening from last few attempts, correct? Now what is important for this attempt, that is also something which I am going to discuss about. Then your income from capital gain, one of the most important topic for your current examination will be income from cap gain. Around 6 to 8 marks question you can expect in your examination. And other sources, of course, other sources also is an important. So your heads of income are actually important, which will cover around 25 to 30 marks of your syllabus. correct? Around 25 to 30 marks of your questions which are there will come from this. Then you have clubbing, set off, carry forward, deductions, which will come to 4 to 8 marks. So if you are lucky enough, they will ask 2 questions from deductions as well as from set off, carry forward, or they will merge it with, definitely they will merge it with your total income question. And TDS, TCS and return of income combined together, 6 marks question will for sure come. There is an optional question which every attempt they ask a question on return of income, which is completely a theory question. So don't miss this topic. Now when we talk about this income tax paper, no, income tax is basically 90% practical, 10% theory or case study based question. 90% of your income tax is has practical aspects, meaning what, sir? You will have to use your calculator, you will have to start working, you will have to work. Whereas the GST, if you see, GST, 80% of your GST is your case study based question and practical question. Or if I want to divide into 3 categories the question paper of GST, the first priority will be case study based question, then second will be your practical, and then direct theory question, wherein case study based question means what, sir? They will give an example related to a particular provision of the law. Based on that provision, you are required to answer. So this will come for around, this is going to come for around 40% of your syllabus. 30% will be practical questions and 30% will be theory questions. So this will be the approach which they follow under GST. Now, sir, every May attempt which you are writing is majorly with respect to amendments. So whatever amendments have come into the law in the GST as well as income tax law, whatever amendments are there in the taxation, normally they will test it in the May attempt. So those the topics which they don't test in May attempt, they will test in June and September and Jan attempt. Now major amendments which are there, because this is your first examination with the amended provision for previous year 24-25 and assessment year 25-26, because this is your first examination. The major amendments which are there in different chapters is, if I talk about income from house property, there is one point with respect to if a person is in the business of renting of house property, that income which is earning by renting of house property, that will be taxable under business income. Even if you are in that will be taxable under income from house property. Even if you are in the business of renting of house property, if you say residential house property, it will be taxable under income from house property. If it is a commercial property, it will be taxable under business or profession. Correct? So this is one amendment over here. With respect to capital gain, as you know, the capital gain is completely changed. One important date is there, 23rd of July. If anything is happening after that date, there is a different tax rate. There is a different mechanism of computation. If the transfer is happening before 23rd of July, there is a completely different mechanism of computation, and tax rates are also different. And when it comes to income from other sources, the provision with respect to buyback of shares, they have made an amendment. So if the buyback is happening after 10th of on or after 10th of 1st of October 2024, then it will be taxable in the hands of shareholders and as deemed dividend. A new section 222F has been added, so please concentrate on that. And with respect to PGBP, what is the amendment, sir? With respect to PGBP, remunerations payable to partners, that is an amendment. Correct? Remuneration payable to partners of a partnership firm, the limits under 40B has been changed, so that is a very important amendment. And with respect to TDS, there are some points. Okay, there are some provisions wherein the rate has reduced from 5% to 2%, etc. Okay, so please concentrate on this amendment when you are approaching your studies. When you are studying, no, majorly you should concentrate on these amendments. These are the topic which major changes are there. So I have covered, I have specifically made sure that I make a point on this so that you cover those points. Then, sir, what are those important topics which I should for sure study for my examination, sir? If I study this, I will be able to get maximum marks, sir. So with respect to income tax, out of 50, you will be able to score 40 marks straightforward if you complete these topics. These are the topics, if you complete thoroughly, you will the questions which they are going to ask in the examination will be almost around 40 marks. Sir, which are these questions, sir? The questions with respect to residential status and scope of total income. One question for sure will come. 100% one question will come. Then income from salary. One question for sure will come. If you are doing these two topics only straight away, around 15-16 marks is covered by you in practical question. Okay, in practical question, around 15 marks is already covered by these two chapters alone. Income from capital gain, one of the most important topic for your attempt is income from capital gain, because there is major amendment. There is major amendment. There is and the chances of they asking you question on computation of income for an individual and taxes on that capital income will become very high. Okay, so these three topics, if you see together, around 21 marks to 25 marks will be covered from these topics only. Then PGBP, needless to say, there is of course there is no doubt about the importance of PGBP, which is there in income tax law. This alone will have a weightage of 10 marks in your examination. Then clubbing, set off, carry forward, and deduction. Why, sir, clubbing, set off, carry forward, deduction? Because PGBP, clubbing, set off, carry forward, and deductions will form your total income question. Then tax rates and total income, which is respect to 115 BAC. What do I do? What are the different tax rates under old regime, new regime? What changes they have made under 115 BAC? They have made the changes of tax rates. Then they have given some benefits with respect to family pension. Please concentrate on that family pension point. Then TDS, TCS, and return of income. A case study based or theory question will come. Case study based question will come from TDS, TCS, and theory question will come from return of income. So these topics, if you are covering thoroughly, 40 marks for sure directly you will get from income tax law. 40 marks for sure you will get under what, sir? Income tax law. Sir, please tell us about GST, sir. Now the weightage of marks, if you ask me chapter wise, introduction will have 2 marks weightage. Supply will have 5 mark weightage. Then composition, scheme, and charge will have 5 to 6 marks weightage. Exemption, 5 marks weightage. Time of supply, weightage is 4 marks, but they test, it is not that they will 100% ask a question from this chapter. Sometimes they ask, sometimes they do not ask. So value of supply has a weightage of 5 marks. Normally value of supply and input tax credit and payment of tax will be tested in your first question of 15 marks compulsory question. Place of supply, very good topic, very easy topic, 5 marks weightage is there. Input tax rate and payment of tax, 5 to 8 marks. Then registration chapter is an important chapter, again 5 marks. Tax invoice, debit note, credit note, accounts and records, theory question, direct theory question will come. If you miss this chapter, just 4-5 lines point answer, the answer will be in just 4-5 lines, 6-7 lines, and you will directly get 4 to 6 marks from this. Then TDS, TCS, and returns will have weightage of 2 to 4 marks. Now, what is that which I should not miss under GST, sir? If you cover this much under GST, you will get almost around 35 marks. Now, what are those different points, sir? Supply under GST, 100% they will ask a question, because this is something which they test at intermediate level. They don't test it under final level, and that is the base. Your entire GST, the base is what, sir? Supply. Therefore, they will the question will surely come. Every attempt it is coming. Okay, it is not that they are not asking questions they have not asked questions in any attempt. Every attempt they ask a question. Concentrate on the circulars which are issued, which is given in institute material, as well as concentrate on the amendments which are there with respect to what are the new circulars added. So check those points, because based on that circular they will make a case study and ask a question to you. Then composition scheme and section 9.3 and 9.5. Composition scheme is section 10, 9.3 is reverse charge items, and 9.5 is that e-commerce operator. So those are important in your charge and composition chapter. Exemption, definitely you should do exemption topic. Now exemption, sir, it is very practically very difficult for me to remember all the exemptions, sir. There are almost around 100 to 120 exemptions which are there, sir. You don't have to buy at anything. You just have to read it and know whether that particular item is exempt or not exempt. That is the only thing which you don't have to remember which section is telling, which entry number is telling it is exempt, not exempt. That is not what institute is trying to test you with. Then value of supply, of course, very smallest chapter in your GST law is value of supply, but again an most important chapter. Input tax rate and payment of taxes, these two topics will have that 15 marks question, or there may be a separate question of 5 marks to 8 marks from these topics, separate question also. So around 15 to 20 marks will be from this value of supply, input tax rate, and time of supply. You should do it thoroughly without missing anything. Then registration chapter, again an important topic, and e-waybill, accounts and records, and tax invoice. Again, a theory question will be asked from this topic. If you cover all this chapter, around 35 marks is covered by you. Around 35 marks you will sure shot covered. So this is what is the important point with respect to your GST and what you should concentrate in your GST as well as in your income tax law. Now, let me talk about question paper pattern. How should I approach my examination? This is very important. This discussion which I am going to do is very important because this discussion is something which you will already be knowing. If you have done your own self-analysis, you will already be knowing about this. But the discussion which we are going to do now, that is little important. What is that point, sir? That is with respect to how to approach my examination whenever a question I see the question paper. Now let me just tell you about your question paper pattern. What is the pattern which you have? Yes, Aditya Swaminath says my birthday, my anniversary, everything is on 15th, 23rd of July. Correct. Now please note your question paper pattern. So you have two parts in your question paper. One is your part A and part B. Of course, you have already attended your accounts and law paper. So definitely you will be knowing that, sir, the same concept is followed. Here, part A will contain MCQs for 30 marks and part B will contain your practical questions or theory-based question, case study-based question. Now, how will the MCQs be, sir? MCQs, there will be total 30 marks MCQs. Normally, there will be 4 case studies and there will be remaining MCQs. How will the case study be? There will be 2 case studies from income tax law. There will be 2 case studies from GST law. The case study questions which are there, there will be, so because there is 2 case studies, in each case study there will be 3 questions. What is this case study, sir? They will give an case to you. With respect to that case, they will give 3 questions. You should read that case, answer to these questions which are with respect to that case. So there will be 3 questions in each of the case study. So 3 into 2 marks for each, which is 6 marks. So like this, how many case studies will be there? 2 case studies under GST law, 2 case studies under income tax law. Apart from that, there will be 2 questions under GST and income tax extra. 2 marks, that is 2 MCQs, one will be for 2 marks, one will be for 1 mark, and similarly same will be with the GST. This is about your MCQ. So total 4 case study based question. Then remaining 6 questions will be normal questions, individual questions, meaning they will not be linked to anyone. They will be individual questions which you have to answer. Then part 2 will contain 2 sections, section A and section B. Section A will talk about your income tax and section B will talk about your GST. Section A talks about what, sir? Income tax, which will contain first question, which is each of this. GST will contain 4 questions, income tax also will contain 4 questions, wherein the question number 1, the first question under GST as well as income tax will be compulsory, and out of remaining 3 questions you are supposed to answer only 2 questions. Please note, out of remaining 3 you have to answer only 2. Now question number 1 to 4 is covered under your income tax law. Question number 5 to 8 is covered under your GST law. First question is compulsory question, which is 15 marks, and out of the other questions which are 10 marks question, you will have to answer any 2. Now comes the most important point. Sir, how should I plan my first 15 minutes? With respect to this subject, if you plan like this, trust me, you will be able to score maximum marks. This thing which I have got, this is after discussing with the students who have cleared with 75 plus 80 plus marks. Okay, this I have come into analysis only after discussing with the students who have scored those marks. Now, what is that first 15 minutes? What should I do in the first 15 minutes, sir? First 15 minutes, ignore everything. As soon as the question paper is coming to you, in that 15 minutes time, see, use your brain properly. Your brain will go towards that point which it feels is difficult. You should use your brain properly. Now, what do you know? We all know that first question number 1 in income tax and question number 5, that is the first question in income tax and first question in GST, that is a compulsory question that you have to 100% attempt. So don't waste your time, that 15 minutes time, reading that question. Don't waste your time reading that question, because you have to attend that question. See, whether you know it or not, you will have to attend that question. Correct? No? So first 15 minutes when you get ignore the first question of GST and first question of income tax. When you start with income tax, see question number 2, 3 and 4. Now, out of these 3 questions, you have to answer 2 questions. Correct? Now, in that 15 minutes time, whatever you have, first decide which will be the 2 question under income tax which I am going to answer, and which will be the 2 question which I am going to answer under GST. Hey, please note, question number 1 to you have to 100% answer now. When you have to 100% do something, why to waste time thinking about that point? Concentrate on those questions where you have choice. Now you have choice in question number 2, 3, 4 of income tax. You have choice in question number 6, 7, 8 of GST. In that choice, no, meaning I have to answer only 2 questions out of 3 questions which they have given. In first 15 minutes, you have to decide which will that be that 2 questions. Meaning what, sir? Read the questions which in that 15 minutes, these 3 questions which are there, read that questions and check which you are more confident about, which you will be able to answer with a maximum accuracy. Once that is done, after reading this, please note, I am still telling, don't read that compulsory question. Don't start with reading compulsory question. Once you have selected what is the question which I am going to attempt under GST and under income tax law, then in that 15 minutes time, read the, so first 15 minutes, first you select the option, then see what, sir, first you select under income tax law what is the option you are selecting, under GST what is the option you are selecting, then you read, if you have time left over in that 15 minutes time, then you see what, sir, your MCQs. Then you see the MCQs, you see the MCQs, and because MCQs, if you are able to read and get the answer right away by reading that, if you are able to read and get the answer right away, that is the best thing, because when the answer sheet coming it is just that you will have to mark that answer. So read all your MCQs. Till now, you don't have to read first question. First compulsory question, you take it at the end, because many times it will happen that first question will have some or the other adjustment which you may feel it is not there, but it is there. Meaning it will have some or the other adjustment which will make that point little difficult to crack. Okay, so you may feel that, oh, this is something which is very simple, I'll be able to do. And once you start with that, no, and please note, it is a compulsory question, means institute also know you have to compulsory attend this. So a student will attend this question. So I will put some point like that wherein student gets stuck. Okay, so better you follow this approach. You select what is the optional questions which you are going to attend. Now, sir, how should I answer, sir? Sir, I understood what you told, but how should I answer, sir? Should I start with GST? Should I start with income tax? Should I start with MCQ? Now, my personal choice will be to start with MCQ. See, because 30 marks MCQ is there. Okay, after discussing with students, only this choice has come. Start with MCQ. Why, sir, I should start with MCQ? Because if you start with MCQ, your confidence will increase, because in MCQ, you have your answer right in front of you. Correct, not correct? In the MCQ point, no, you have your answer right in front of you. You have to select the best option. Now here one problem will happen, sir. Should I solve the answer, sir? Should I mark the, should I show the working anywhere? No, working is not required. So here you don't have to neatly write. Rough work you do at the end of the answer sheets anywhere, or wherever that rough working space is there. Don't do at the beginning, at the end of the answer sheets or rough work paper which they are giving to you. So you do that calculation part in that roughly, fast you should do, because there your neatness will not matter. Here your right answer will matter in MCQ. So in MCQ, what you should do, sir, you should, when you're starting, what should you do first? You do the MCQ first. Once you do the MCQ, after doing the MCQ, you start with GST. I always tell my students, all the students, that never start with income tax, because income tax is relatively lengthy when compared to GST. And of course, you guys will also be knowing this because you have already prepared for your examination. You will be knowing that you will be able to complete your GST part in a faster manner when compared to income tax. So first start with MCQ, then go with GST. GST, what will I do first, sir? Not the compulsory question. You answer that any 2 questions in that optional question number 6, 7, 8. Select the 2 questions, whatever you want to answer, give the answer to that. By this, you will be already attending how many marks, sir? You will already be able to complete 50 marks of your 50% or 50 marks of your question paper is done. And trust me, this 50 marks, no, you will be able to cover in first 1 hour 15 minutes or 1 hour 30 minutes. In this 1 hour 15 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes, 50% of your portions is done. Next, go to compulsory question of GST. So please note, any place you are getting stuck, no, don't give more than 2 more minutes for that. If you give extra time for that, no, that will take your time for other questions. And then you start with, when you do the compulsory question of GST, and then start with your income tax. When you're starting with income tax also, of course, you start with what, sir? The optional question first, then go for compulsory question. Now please note, during this time also, you have the choice to improvise in the examination. When you are reading the question, if you anywhere feel that compulsory question is relatively easy when compared to the optional question, you are the best person to judge over there. Okay, this is normally what you are supposed to follow. But if you feel, sir, no sir, GST optional questions very good, and income tax optional question also I want to answer first, sir, then I will answer at last the compulsory question. I want to follow this approach, sir. You are the best person, because the question paper is right in front of you. You will be knowing what is asked in the question paper, and accordingly you please react over there, respond over there, answer over there. Correct? Start with MCQ, GST, optional question, answer any two question. Then if you feel income tax, I'll answer optional question first, and then I'll go for GST as well as income tax compulsory question. You can follow that approach. Okay. Now, what are the important points which you have to keep in your mind? And I'll also show you sample how to answer a sample points I'll take, meaning how to answer any question. We'll discuss these 2 points and complete the discussion, because I don't want to take much time of yours. Now, start with MCQs. Complete all the MCQs in 30 to 40 minutes time. So you allot this much time, 30 to 40 minutes, and complete the MCQs. Read the questions thoroughly, carefully. Okay, please read the questions carefully. Reading the question 2 times will help you. And whenever you are solving MCQ, read the questions first. If it is a case study based question, read the questions first, then go for case study. Your brain will start to look for answer. If you read the question first, no, your brain will say, okay, this is what I have to search in the case study. Correct? What normally students do, they will read the case study, come back to the questions, and then again read the case study. Better read the questions first, then read the case study. When you're reading the questions first and going for the case study, no, your brain will look only for those points which were asked in the question. Correct? So follow this approach. Then start with your GST. I mean, this point is already covered. And at last, start with your income tax. Now, what is most important thing which I have to keep in mind, sir? Be prepared that question will be very lengthy. This is a tax paper. Tax paper, you guys know, when we are solving in the classroom also, some questions take a lot of time to solve. And please note, the way you solve in the classroom and the way you solve in the examination is a complete different procedure. In examination, you will get maximum marks for your notes. You will get maximum marks for your workings which you are doing. You will get, see, 50% of the marks will be for the working, 50% of the marks will be for your correct answer. You may get the correct answer. Even after getting correct answer for a 8-mark question, you will get only 3 to 4 marks because you would have not written notes. So please, you also check. I mean, I'll definitely show you how to answer a question. One example I'll take from GST. So be prepared that the question paper will be lengthy. Accordingly, you plan. Then reach the examination center and sit in the seat. Please note, last 1 hour, last 15 minutes, last 20 minutes, nothing is going to happen. Whatever you could not do in last 2-3 months, will you be able to do in 15 minutes? No. So reach and sit at your seat by 1:30. 1:30 you should be over there. You should make yourself comfortable with that place. Sir, it is already we are comfortable, sir. From last 2 days we are going over there. Yeah, but still, because this paper is a paper which you are writing for the first time, you will have to make sure that you go on time over there. Compulsorily be in the exam hall. Now, compulsorily you should be in the exam hall till 5 o'clock. Examination is from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock. No. Now, even if your parents say, hey, come at 4:30 today, we are going to get you married with someone, don't go. If you don't get if you don't come today by 4:30, this you will never be able to get married for next 10 years. No problem. No problem. You get a degree. Marriage will automatically come behind. Correct? So sit in the exam center, sit in the examination hall. Even if you don't know anything, you sit in the examination hall, write notes. See, many times what has happened is, there was one student of mine who got 56 marks in the tax paper. Now that student told, sir, none of the question I knew the answer, sir. None of the question I knew the answer. I did not know. What he did was, he just saw the adjustments. in the question, he saw what are the different adjustments. Now, whatever adjustment he felt that he knew, he wrote that adjustment and a note for that adjustment. Meaning he just gave a working note for each question. He gave a working note, meaning though he didn't know the how to solve the main answer, he knew the provision. He wrote that provision and computed that part of that question. By this, he got 56 marks. Why, sir? Because there is step marking involved over there. Okay, so please make sure that you do that. Compulsory be in the examination hall. Even if you don't know, try to answer something. If you sit in the examination hall, your brain will start telling you what you have to do. Do not write wrong sections. At intermediate level, they don't test you on section, whether you know the section or not. They will never test you on the section. Better not to write a section than writing a wrong section. Correct? You just write as per the provisions of Income Tax Act, as per the provisions of CGST Act, and in case of place of supply, as per the provisions of IGST Act. That is more than sufficient. Even if you don't write the section number, no problem. Compulsory write the provision for each and every adjustment you make. What does it mean, sir? Write notes, workings, because each and every working note and step which you are doing that will count, because here step marking will come. Under income tax, as I told you, 90% is practical. There the step marking will come. Each and every addition, subtraction which you are doing in the question paper, no, whatever you are adding, whatever you are not taking into consideration, write a note for that. Write a note for that. Must do all the if time permits. I mean, right now, if you have time for this, you just go through the RTP, that most recent RTP. Normally it is last 3 RTPs you have to see, because they normally lift one of the question from RTPs. So if time permits, you check that. Check for the recent amendment. As I told you, what are the important amendments, those amendments you concentrate. Now, sir, how should I answer that? I have taken an example of capital gain question. Now in this question, they have given a question with respect to an individual who has earned, etc. So they have in this question, no, in examination, if this comes, it will come for 6 to 8 marks. To get your full 6 to 8 marks, normally, if you see this question, the answer for this question is only this much. The answer, the box which you are saying, this is the only answer for this question. For this answer, out of 6 marks, how much do you expect you will get? Only 2 marks. For giving a right answer, you will get only 2 marks. The marks over here is not for the right answer. The marks over here is for the notes which you write. How do you get the amount? You should show everything to them. Like for example, in this question, full value of consideration, the first point which is there about what is this full value of consideration you have taken. He has sold the property for 58 lakh rupees and the stamp duty value is 64 lakh rupees. Now first, what will I do, sir? I will apply the provision of section 50C. What is it telling? If the stamp duty value is more than 110% of sale price, then stamp duty value will be taken as full value of consideration. Sir, I don't know the legal wording, sir. Write in your own language, right? If the stamp duty value is more than 110% of sale price, then stamp duty value will be full value of consideration. Very simple language. You don't have to use the legal wordings over here. So, and you show that stamp duty value is this much, sale price is this much, 110% of sale price is this much. Because the stamp duty is value is more. Now this, because if you write or not, it does not matter. Directly you can write since stamp duty value is more than 110% of sale price, full value of consideration is equal to stamp duty value is equal to 64 lakhs. So this will carry, see this, right? This point over here will give you half mark. The other half marks will come from this note which you have given. Similarly, expenses are not there. Cost of acquisition. Now, what is the cost of acquisition which I have given? I have written 2 notes for cost of acquisition. The property was acquired before 1/4/2001. So therefore, if it is acquired before 1/4/2001, you should take actual cost or first compare fair market value and stamp duty value, take whichever is less, and that compare with actual cost and take whichever is higher. Then we also know that indexation benefit will not be available for computation of capital gain. Please note, indexation benefit will not be available for computation of capital gain amount. Indexation benefit will be available only for computation of tax amount. So since the capital asset is transferred after 23rd July, indexation benefit is not available for computation of capital gain. Then there is a point with respect to advance money forfeited. Now advance money forfeited before 1/4/2001, I have subtracted that. I have subtracted that over here. Advance money forfeited before 1/4/2001, note number 4, should be reduced from cost of acquisition. You should write all these things. You should write all these things. Then what, sir? advance money, then improvement which is done before that particular date, that should be ignored. Any improvement done before 1/4/2001 should be ignored. Now, once you have done this, if the question is also asking you to compute the tax liability, which I feel they'll ask because there is a change in that, then you have to recompute the capital gain. If you remember, we have learned this in the classroom. Now, this is main answer. This is our main answer if they ask only capital gain with the notes. If they ask you to compute the tax also, you will have to recompute the capital gain by taking indexation. Correct? Now, please note, for individual and HUF only the indexation benefit is available if they have transferred an immovable property. No indexation benefit is available for any other asset. Correct? So you will have to write that. So what is the tax at 12.5% without indexation, 20% with indexation? You find whichever is less is your tax liability. So these many notes you will have to write to get the full marks. Correct? No, you want your full marks. Please note, writing notes will, trust me, help you get that extra marks which you want. Sir, under GST, how should I answer, sir? So there is this one question which we have already solved in the classroom, and this is one of the exam question with respect to computation of your tax liability. Now, how will I answer, sir? Computation of tax liability, if you remember, there is three-step process which we follow. First, compute your output tax liability. What is the tax on your outward supply? Then compute your total input tax credit available. Here, maximum student will do mistake. First, take opening input tax credit, which you have. Then add input tax credit on purchases. Now, here you will write each and every item which they have given in the question. For example, car purchased for partner. I know that there is no input tax credit available on this item, sir. But you just write a note that the ITC on motor vehicle is blocked under section 17(5). Write a note. So you will have to write this point and write a note separately for that. Office rent, note number 2. I have not taken input tax credit because the person who the owner has not uploaded GSTR1. So write a note with respect to that. Why are you not taking input tax credit? And you know that you know the provision, but does the examiner know that you know the provision? Examiner, you will have to tell him, know that you know him. Professional charges, he can take input tax rate, and computer purchased by him, on that also he can take input tax rate. Now for that you will have to write a note. On computers he can take an input tax, ITC on capital goods can be taken if depreciation is not taken on tax component. So write that particular note. Now you will get tax on opening input tax rate, tax on purchases, then you will get the total. Now to this you should add input tax credit paid under reverse charge. So if you have any inward supply on which you have paid tax under reverse charge, you add that point also, you will get your total input tax credit. Then the final thing will come, which is computation of tax payable. Now here what will I do, sir? I will take my output tax from GSTR, so output tax from step number 1 and input tax from step number 2 and get the final answer. So output tax liability, so step number 1 you can write in bracket, you write the amounts. Utilization of input tax rate, compulsory you should write the section number also, section 49 subsection 5. So there are only very few sections which I tell you that these section numbers are something which you 100% remember. This is one of that section 49 subsection 5. Now how have you utilized input tax rate? So first IGST should be utilized, then CGST should be utilized, then SGST should be utilized, etc. Then what is the tax payable on your sales? Add the tax payable under reverse charge. Because the tax which is payable in the reverse charge should be paid compulsory in cash only. You will get your final answer. Now, sir, here also note should I write, sir? Yes. Wherever you are taking something, wherever, see, when you are reading a question, you will be knowing that, oh, this item I should consider, this item I should not consider. You know that the answer, right? You know that answer, you will have to tell the invigilator. Whoever is correcting your paper, you will have to tell that person by writing a note. Okay. So I think this much discussion with respect to this class is sufficient. All the very best for your examination. I don't want to take any much time of yours. Any person has any question, you can ask me. I'll wait for one more minute. If not, then all the very best from my side, from our entire team. You all clear the examination with great marks and make us as well as your parents and your friends proud. Thanks a lot for giving so much time. All the very best. Take care. Enjoy. Bye. Anyone has any question, you can ask me. Okay, friends, then tada, bye bye, take care, enjoy. If you have any question, you can just comment your questions. I will definitely answer those questions. Bye bye, take care.